I am at 6,000 hours on Rust. I can't believe that shit. I'm like almost there already. It's like disgusting what happened here. Yeah, why is my Steam off? That seems weird. Oh, because I'm in Steam. Is that why? Shouldn't be like that. No, it just wasn't open. Yeah, how many hours do I have in Rust? God damn it. So like, yeah, I'll throw like 5,000 hours, 10,000 hours at you like that. Because I only have 5,000 hours, but still, it's 5,100 hours. It's a lot less than I thought, but that's good. It's good. It's good that it's less than I thought. I thought I ticked upwards a lot. So, and I'm not kidding. Like, with that kind of time, if we're gonna spend that kind of time, yeah, your engine needs to run. I don't care about 50 billion planets, the scope creep, and I would like base building. I won't lie, a lot more than those crappy cities. But I mean, do you need base building when the people can't even leave the cities because the frame rate is 20? And it crashes their computer? I don't think so. I don't think you need base building. I think you need to completely call a complete, 1080 here and just completely focus on optimization, which is what every company who stayed alive did in the last year. Like, do you think that Helldivers 2 would have had the fucking hype that it had if it played like fucking Star Citizen? No.
Apparently there is actual crazy base building in the entire game as well.
Yeah.
Meaning that you can land on these planets and apparently build a base, much to the similarity of something like Fallout or even Starfield. God, I hate saying that.
Yeah, me too.
If you actually look at it, it feels pretty close to it. And I don't know if they're ever going to expand on this to the point where they're going to try to create Factorio in an MMO.
Yeah.
God forbid they go down that road trying to get things to work.
Space Engineers scares me. I have Space Engineers like all queued up to play right now, but it scares the living shit out of me because it looks like a fucking Minecraft / 7 Days to Die grinder where you grind big tubes down into the land, turn it into stone, and then make the stone into a base, and then somebody fucks you for the base, basically, or you just leave, one or the other. And so and I don't know, I'm just like, I don't know, I want to do Space Engineers, but I also like, I see that voxel grinder that 7 Days tried to present. I see that in 7 Days. I do. I'm sorry. I see 7 Days in Space Engineers, and it worries me. And that's what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, all that cool implementation is fucking amazing when you're an addict to the game. But from the outside, when you come in, you're like, oh my god, this game is so fucking overcomplicated that I don't want to know how to make a fucking space rover. I just need to know how to get to space, And Star Citizen definitely did suffer from that really bad. I didn't want to learn how to get clothes on. I didn't want to learn how to go buy stuff from the store. You can get that all polished out later and stuff. I wanted to hit a button and be in my plane, ready, in my spaceship, ready to leave. And no, I don't want loading screens. I just want to, instant access to my ship. I don't want to have to do a fucking 25-minute walk through some fucking tram just to get to the ship. Now, the realism made the game good, and they don't need to let it go. They don't. It actually held up. It did. It held up. I like that tram, and I'll ride it over and over and over again. But understand, how much tram am I expected to ride? If it's like, a 4-minute ride every single time, how many billions of times have some of those vets rode that tram? Thousands and thousands of 5-minute times or something, just sitting there waiting for just so they can go to their ship. That kind of busy work does not equal a fucking video game. It does not. So I'm not complaining like the game was bad. It wasn't. It wasn't bad. It actually wasn't a bad game. It wasn't really. Which is so weird because most of the games that come out are bad, but that was not a bad game. It's not. It's ready to be something really amazing. But I mean, until you optimize, what good are you? What good are you? I don't care if you have base building or any of that stuff. If the game won't play, I mean, sure, you could be like, oh, I've got the hottest 775-mile McLaren per hour McLaren in the world. My McLaren goes 775 miles per hour. Yeah, but you can't put any brakes on it because it's basically a stick with some fucking, rocket fuel attached, You can't put any brakes on it. If you put brakes on it, it can't go 775 miles an hour or whatever. So then you just smack it to a fucking wall. And so the person goes, yeah, but 775 miles an hour. And they smile kind of dumbly. And it's like, no. The game is really, really beautiful. Yes, just like how the McLaren's really fucking fast as you crash it into the wall, like stupid ass Jack Doherty or whatever. But like, sure, McLarens are fucking cool. But it doesn't matter how fucking fast. It doesn't matter how beautiful it is. It is if it won't run. It doesn't matter how beautiful the McLaren is if it won't even go more than 30 miles an hour. And that's an apt metaphor. If the McLaren is really fucking beautiful, it's the most beautiful $375,000, Jack Doherty crashed into the wall, fucking McLaren or whatever. And it's like $375,000, but it doesn't matter. It goes 30 miles an hour because you put all the money into the goddamn fucking finish of the fucking car instead of the engine. you bought celebrities for your crappy cyberpunk alike, as opposed to buying the engine. The engine was what you needed to buy. You had $700 million. The engine's probably only like 350 or something. But I doubt you spent that much, or I would have been able to leave the city.
The game barely functions as it is.
Yeah, it barely functions. It is absolutely the most buggy game I've ever seen somebody with the balls to even ever call an alpha, really.
An alpha. We're talking about a game that you're lucky to be hitting 30 to 60 frames in the town.
In a 4090 Ti rated.
Go into space.
Yeah.
That's probably where you'll see a playable frame rate. But this is a game that has a long ways to go with optimization.
With anything like that.
Not to say that it's all bad or anything.
Oops.
The game is very
Where am I
good looking,
going?
but clearly there needs to be more focus put on delivering a proper game versus actually implementing more and more features that have yet to really materialize. For instance, there's a great website known as www.club.net where literally CitizenCon 2023, this is from last year.
I can't get it.
So they're like, listen guys, this was amazing.
Yes,
the intention was to deliver everything.
I can wait an hour to teleport home. I'm going to turn this heater off. It's too hot in here now. It's either too hot or too cold. So annoying. Turn off you. Turn back my way. Come back to my way. I'm lazy. Come back my way so I can turn you off. Okay. I am full of money. I mean ice. So we will go home. Home.
Presented within the coming 12 months. So this is how you read these lists. 29 out of 56 listed features in that entire point.
Yeah, see, I think 29 was actually really amazing. I didn't think I needed much more than the leave the planet, go to another planet, have cities, and make sure the frame rate was okay. I think I would have been like, yeah, this game's so good. It would have been so good. I can't wait. But it wasn't like that. It was like crash in the bed, crash on the way down, can't get the elevator to run, go to the ship, get in the ship, realize that you forgot something, go back, can't equip, can't get anything on your body, you try again, you get in the ship, your controls are janky, so you do like 5 hours of research and shit, which is okay for a sim. That's actually okay, but like it just sucks. It's not conducive to fun though, which is kind of weird for such a fun game. It actually was really fun. The things that it had you doing though was not that fun. It was like, go buy some clothes. I don't like clothes shopping. It's like a chore to me. Like, go buy some clothes, go buy some weapons. That's cool, but it was so slow and so cumbersome and so annoying to use their vendor that it was like literally a chore. And then they were like, okay, go on your ship and then crash. Essentially, if you don't crash on the exit, then you're gonna crash trying to get to the space station. And that was good gameplay loop till I did it 7 times in a row or something like that, and I was like, oh my god, I love the exit, it's so good. But even though it was like really fairly boring, it was like a 5-minute wait. But like but then, I don't know, something about it, like it's not optimized. That's all. That's its only issue. All the stuff that was there was fine.
Released. So
I mean, the vendors were kind of hokey and sort of JRPG-ish a little bit. For an MMO vendor, a little bit, I would say, but it was good.
Everything in green.
I had no complaints. I don't think I had any complaints except for the jank and the bugs. I don't think any of it bothered me, really.
Coming out. Red means obviously it didn't.
They were definitely selling an experience that they knocked out of the park. The first time I jumped that fucking ship into space was something I'll never forget. So, I mean, the experience is there, and that's often not there. That's often not actually there. So, I go to right. I was thinking that I would teleport out, but I can't. I can, and I must.
Building? No. Do we have engineering? No. Do we have one of the stars?
If you think about it, Mortal has building, and Mortal's been out for 4 fucking years or something. And Mortal is doing an MMO called Mortal Exodus and all this. Frankly, Mortal is a more finished product, and you guys saw how crappy that game is. Mortal is a more fucking finished product than Star Citizen, which is sort of sad. Mortal started in its first game in 2001, and its second one in 2020. In that time, you didn't even finish the first one, And so then I think, well, if I'm going to get ripped off by like Kickstarter developers and stuff, I'd rather maybe do it with Mortal, where at least I can stand to be on the game all day.
Systems that'll come soon.
And Mortal's a bad game in my opinion compared to Star Citizen. Actually,
do we have the FPS HUD and user?
Mortal's a good game, but it doesn't have good combat. The combat's good, but it's too slow. It's like, god damn it, like humans' reflexes are a lot faster than that piece of shit movement.
Interface, thank God that's available. Static server meshing? Not so far. What about the future of the actual game engine? Do we have quantum travel effects?
So I didn't know, but they had this huge influx of people when the CitizenCon went, and there was like all these like games journalists there and stuff like him. He was a games journalist and he was there, and I think that like in a few days, if they're off the server, if I can actually maybe leave a bed without getting jank. You know, I wouldn't mind trying to learn to land on that station over and over again. But the problem is, once you do that, you go looking for some other content to kick ass with, then there's nothing left. You know, by that time, you've pretty much conquered the game. You know how to land, you know how to shoot, you know how to fly around, do dog fights, you know how to do the on foot combat and all that. So that by I would say like by the 5th week, when the luster of doing something for the first time is gone, the game isn't good enough to stick around.
We have fire simulation, no, but do we have water simulation and deformation? Sure. I wonder how much of this stuff probably functions well in something like Unreal Engine. How much time they would have gotten through that instead of the Star Engine. But speaking of the Star Engine, their technology is something that is probably the only thing drawing in pledges. Like, if you actually look at the Star Engine 4K, it isn't bad looking whatsoever. The amount of stuff they show in a real-time shot is pretty insane. You've got crazy foliage, you've got the ability to actually go through these volumetric clouds, which look amazing, by the way, when you're taking off. I mean, this is a very, very accurate and well-done way of looking at space. I mean, this is a game where literally it is jaw-dropping to actually fly from space into a planet, because I don't think visually any other game on the market is as impressive as Star Citizen in that regard. Now, since I made the last Star Citizen video, one of the things that I have been doing is kind of watching all the money go up. Like, I've been pocket watching, you know, Cloud Imperium a little bit, and just seeing, like, how far and how developed this game has become. And I'll be honest, since the last year I played the game, I don't really notice much different. Now, I wanted to wait like a few days, a week after, so I could actually get my gameplay footage to represent Star Citizen in the best way possible. All the footage you've seen here is after the actual initial wave or their free weekend play, which is typically when the servers are so stress tested that nobody is actually able to play the game at all. If you play this game during a free weekend, it is effectively the most unplayable fucking game imaginable.
That's what that was too, because they all bought like the $50 buy-in. So I was like, why does it feel like it's launch day? I picked a random day to play this game, and it's because I picked their Citizen Fest purely by mistake. I had no idea it was even happening. I had no idea, and like I just picked a random day, and it just happened to be fucking Citizen Fest when they're all playing fucking Star Citizen as games journalists, trying to give us some kind of redeeming, like, you know, story redeem. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe when it isn't like that, it might be a better game.
Because of the way the servers work and because of how many people connect to it, things like these server FPS...
When I go to bed tonight, I'll put Star Citizen back on my C drive and I'll spin it up like around the 5th. I'll wait like another week because I don't think this fervor has died down. Not totally.
End up being
that chat was so busy. I was like, damn, there's only 1,000 viewers on Star Citizen, which is a lot actually, but you know, they were all in the chat. It was really busy.
So erratic that trying to interact with anything in the game, which is obviously you interacting with the server, becomes nearly impossible. That elevator meme I talked about earlier is not a meme. And the worst case
No, it's not a joke. I died in the hospital because I crashed a ship, and then I popped in a news station, and I crashed in the bed, and the bed locked me like it was admin punishing me or something, and it wouldn't let me out. It wouldn't let me kill myself. It wouldn't let me do anything. And so then I literally had to wait 2.5 fucking hours to die of starvation and thirst, and then spawn in another hospital, go back because I assumed that all of my property would be on the station, but then they sent me all, or no, I think I just lost all the property. I'm fairly sure I just lost it. So I could get my shit back, and I had to learn that. So then I went back to the station to go get my shit back, and it was gone. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I thought that if I starved in the station, you would at least stick my stuff in the storage, and they aren't even thinking stuff like that yet. They're trying to put like 50 more feature creeps.
Literally just getting out of the planet.
It's weird. They like designed the hunger and thirst system, but then they didn't fix the beds or something. It's sort of weird. It's like they don't have time for the stuff that really matters, that does lock up people like me, you know. I always find the bug, whatever it is, the worst bug. I found the worst bug pretty much immediately. I found the 2 worst bugs pretty much immediately. Parking at the station to ogle at the station and logging there to see if safe log would work. It didn't. It locked me over and over and over again.
Own actual curse.
Then I lost to that. I made like 5 trips out to the station, and I was like, oh, I can't keep logging at the station. That must be what it is. But how would I know what it is? Everybody was saying that safe log worked, but no, it didn't. It definitely locked me up like 5 times. It was so stupid. So then, you know, I even went back down to the surface a couple times because I kept spending all my money. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to keep 13K so I can at least buy like a fucking bag or something so I can get going eventually when I do play this game, because I doubt this guy ever gives me any more money ever again.
More time wrestling with the fact and disconnect, just trying to get out of my home world to go into space, just because of the server acting erratic.
Yeah, like that, and then like trying to land. I swear to God, a couple of times it was firing me forward at like 1300. You can't get 1300. I mean, you can get 1300, but I was firing off 1300 like a slingshot directly into the fucking station. Now it felt like that because I was coming in fast, and I think it's probably my fault. But when you combine the lag of it being Citizen Fest, it's a toxic experience. You get sucked in to what I thought felt like a gravity well. The station was like sucking me to it, but what it really is it's just like the lag is mixing with like me pressing the W key, and it's telling the ship that I'm going faster than I actually am because I'm like tapping, but the server's lagging right then.
And that's effective.
Stupid. So because a couple of times, okay, for the first time I got there was no lag, and I landed perfectly, no problem. I flipped around in the goddamn station. I landed auto land after I landed myself. It did no damage to the jet at all. I did a barrel roll in the fucking station, but then I proceeded to crash into the side of the station like 13 times over and over and over again because I was like, something's different this time. When I flew in, it was easy. But then the second through the 7th time felt like it was jank. It was weird. So then think about that. You have to get out of the hospital on the original planet. You have to walk all the way to the fucking space station. You have to get your ship together. You have to wait 4 minutes to pay the insurance. You have to go upstairs. It's such a time sink game. It represents the sort of time sink that I really hate from developers. Wait 4 minutes here for some menu thing to tick, you know? God damn it. So then, and I know why they do it, and it makes sense, but it still sucks sort of like to wait 5 whole minutes. That's kind of Nazi a little bit. To be like, yeah, you can't play my game that you paid for 5 whole minutes while you wait. I don't know. That's kind of Nazi in 2024. I wouldn't take that sort of right away from the kids, sort of. If they die, they should be able to just go to the fucking ship technician and buy another ship like Starfield. I don't really see why there needs to be a 4 minute wait each time or whatever on base ships, because it is probably worse the higher the ship you go. That's okay, but that's time sink for time sink's sake. There's really no reason for it to be like that. That's time sink for time's sake. What does it teach us to have to get stuck in that fucking hangar for 5 whole minutes waiting for some insurance cooldown because the lag caused us to crash into the station?
Something that
I mean, it wasn't just that. I definitely sucked because I'd never played the game before. But when you combine the lag, it was even worse. You know, it was like my first day, baby's first day flying a spaceship, and then you combine like lag on top of it because it's a fucking Citizen Con, and all the world's journalists are playing the game at the Citizen Con. You begin to realize that it wasn't just me. Well, not all of that was me. A lot of it was me. I'd take 9/10 credibility something like this, but some of it was the jank. Like, you know, definitely jank.
Community said was pretty.
I guarantee 9/10 of it was me just sucking and not having done a space sim in a long time. But I'm sure some of it was them. Some of it was the server.
Until, of course, Cloud Imperium touches.
Now that's something I really don't understand. So see, I understand having an engine that you can't beat into shape. That's something that I have a lot of sympathy for, actually. I've been there. I've done that, kind of. I know what it means to try to beat like a piece of code or some kind of plan into shape when it really won't. I know what that means, and I have some sympathy for that. But to not optimize and make a cyberpunk style game instead, I don't understand choices like that. I'm sorry. Why would you kill your wonderful toddler? You trundle this beautiful baby out on stage, and all the women start cooing, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a brand new baby video game." Everybody starts going, "Oh, I want it," right? And you're like, "Yeah, it's new, it's brand new, it's gonna make me a lot of money." But like honestly, so if you have that kind of response, you don't go buy some models and actors to come voice act your game. You fucking super polish that engine so that it feels like it'll do anything, you know. And that's what all the greats did. That's what Blizzard did with WoW's crappy engine. That's what ESO did with ESO. 76 with 76, 14 with 14, RuneScape with RuneScape, etc. They take that crappy engine and they make it fly. There's a new game coming called Distant Shores or something like that, which is like the some of the original like RuneScape guys, I think, originally. And like, you know, that game's gonna be big because it's free, and you can tell people still like that sort of gameplay. Still, it's interesting.
On one of the holy grails of technology that they've been wanting. And since
like orbital exit has been is a holy grail of the technology that we've been looking at since the PlayStation 1. I know because I used to play the games that kind of promised it in false ways, like Magic Carpet 2, Warhawk, Star Fox, flight games like that, Colony Wars to a less degree. Colony Wars was really good. Yeah, go back. You got me out of this? No, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. Go back.
Since last year I covered upon it, just now they're finally starting to test it out. And what is it? It's server meshing.
It's server meshing,
according
that's
to
it.
Star Citizen, server meshing is a technology that allows several servers to connect together and work seamlessly.
You mean layering?
As if they were a single large server.
Yeah, layering works.
So much
yeah.
like a lot of your
but
MMO
remember,
games,
New World just layered all of their cities, and it still sucks to be there unless you've got GeForce Now, and even which GeForce Now is 60 frames per second, exactly like your fucking cities in Star Citizen. So yeah, we like it when you guys choose something off that's bigger than you can handle. We like it when you dream big. We do, but I don't know. Certain things needed to be addressed, like the engine, but instead you paid voice actors. Why would you pay voice actors over your engine? The engine is the one that needs money.
You know, typically
not voice actors.
Realms or servers where people play on different parts. In Star Citizen, the way that the server is supposed
it's clearly mismanaged, because I think this guy believes that because his computer is the best in the world, because he has all this crazy money from this game, that everybody else's computer is like his or something. But no, most people in the world, they are still running like early Pentium 4s. 3060 Ti is like the top of the ladder for most of the world. And like you got to remember, like good showrunners, good game runners should remember that you need to lower the settings. I think you guys all think that you need to have like these amazing works of art when they first hit that blows everybody away, that has like revolutionary graphics, and you kind of do, but you don't need to do it as much as you did. The only thing that you needed to make beautiful was the planet orbital exit. That was it. The rest of the game should have been slipshod and held together by glue and just basically placeholder and all that. But the actual, and you did do this, but the actual experience of the city was far too toxically slow, too sloggy, and I think I'm repeating myself, so I'll get off it.
Is if you have basically different cities and systems in the galaxy, they are all effectively different servers that you can effectively touch. But the moment you fly through portions of space, the game will dynamically move players from one server to another server, and because of the server meshing system, no one should have any idea that this is happening dynamically. In theory, it's one of the coolest things out there. And when we talk about dynamic server meshing, where servers can allocate and adjust load, so if you have 2,000 people connecting into like one city at any given moment, it can supposedly function. Now, this is technology that's so cool that if Star Citizen Cloud Imperium pulls it off, it's actually more impressive than the fucking game itself. It would actually revolutionize how many other MMOs are treated right now. Imagine having Grand Theft Auto 6 dynamically modified,
right? Whereas where you could just like, you know, where if you're out in the city, you can see all the other people playing their games, but it doesn't really affect you unless you like switch to their lair.
Driving around Vice City together or flying to other parts of the map treated as different servers. Instead of having a 32-player lobby, you could have hundreds of players realistically providing chaotic experiences in one location. Something that might be possible through like third-party modifications, but this would be something that would literally change the game for any other MMO out there. And in the last couple days, 2 weeks ago, one video I found of this happening where servers were effectively dying was a situation where this account, 10pound42, talked about this, showed it happening, and it wasn't exactly all that great. This is where, again, Star Citizen was testing.
I showed it on my channel. I showed way worse shit than this. I showed the 2.5 hours that I had to sit and starve to death in the confined to the hospital bed. In a hospital. I starved to death in a hospital, confined to a hospital bed. You fucking idiot developer. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call him that. I gotta stop.
Completely destroying the servers out there. And again, server meshing, if it can be achieved, would be some of the coolest tech out there. But it's not achieved. And it's something that's still fucking vaporware until today, or until one of the actual posts that I saw was the game still feels like pre-alpha. It's amazing how the most funded project of our time still feels like a lobby game and janky as shit. You know, if you actually look into the history of like Chris Roberts and developing any video game, you'll find out that money mismanagement actually goes pretty much throughout most of this guy's career. So when you actually look into like Chris Roberts' history, one of the interesting things about it too, and one of the things that I didn't know until I was researching this video, was the insistence of Chris Roberts and like actually making movies out of like this video game. The reason why Squadron 42 just involves pretty much all these big actors and these crazy cinematic experiences.
Because they mishandled
this man
it.
Is like Hideo Kojima. He just wants to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Except Hideo Kojima has a whole bunch of successful video games under his belt, while Chris Robert does have successful video games under their belt.
30 years ago.
There's also a severe amount of mismanagement of money. So according to this one scenario, after Microsoft had basically given him the boot out of one of his company's Digital Anvil, he basically ended up finding a company known as Point of No Returns, where they wanted to produce movies, various television shows, and various video.
Damn it, Pumpkin King popped, and that's like free XP. I want it. It's worth getting off the Chocobo. It's a pain in the ass, but it is worth getting off the Chocobo. I'll go find Pumpkin King. Where does Pumpkin King pop? I'm gonna wander around and look. I think I have an idea where it'll be.
Games. But guess what? No actual project came out of Point of No Returns. Then, of course, Robert founds this like Ascendant Pictures company in 2002, and actually becomes a real producer for big movies. Okay, movies like Lord of War,
really,
Outlander, Lucky Number 11. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Who's Your Caddy, I immediately realized to myself, we are cooked as a society. Now, the funny thing about these like movies is if you actually look into like how they were filmed, they were apparently entirely financed by the government of Germany because of a tax loophole.
Yeah, they do
that
this.
Effectively, it closed in 2006. So as one article touches upon it too, that apparently the new Minister of Finance in Germany wanted to eliminate the part of the tax code that allows German investors in media funds to defer their taxes. The rationale for such government subsidies was that local filmmakers could not survive without them. Since the 70s, the American studios, with their enormous marketing muscle and their abilities to send stars to foreign openings, largely succeeded in local European films with their own. So, in order to combat the possibility of American movies just completely overshadowing European stuff, Hollywood studios, though they lack their own government tax relief, managed to join the party by having many of their films assume the identity of foreign co-productions. The studios deftly morph film productions so they can legally qualify as German or English. The art of the deal comes in fully retaining both the control and the profits for themselves, which is why German tax shelter deals proved especially appealing. Yeah, never leave it to any company to not know how to abuse a tax loophole. And of course, once this absolute golden goose dried up, this pretty much marked the end for Chris Roberts' film endeavor. And of course, at that moment in time, 2011 came around, and that's where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. Star Citizen is still being released at some point. Now, even looking into the history of Chris Roberts' game development, one of the games that I wanted to play for this video was something known as Freelancer, and it's a game that I absolutely enjoy playing, probably one of the best space exploration games out there. And before I continue, I want to remind people that it's not just a beloved game for its time, it's still a game with a very active modding community to this day, an active roleplay community.
Yeah, people love these games. They definitely do.
Completely expand and blow the scope of what the actual core game provides. Yep. It's seriously an example of the modding community breathing so much life into a video game that people will still play it in the year 2024, despite this game being literally
30 years old
than a whole chunk of you watching this video. So when you look into the history of Chris Roberts developing a video game over at over Freelancer, one of the things that even back in the day in 2000 when discussed with IGN, they basically kind of chalk it up to the idea that, yeah, this is just an ambitious title. And it was a very ambitious title. Ambitious enough to the point where Chris had actually started running out of money to run this project. So when asked in an interview with GameSpot, Chris Roberts, or GameSpot, asked, does this mean that Digital Anvil was ever at the risk of running out of money? Was this acquisition necessitated by the need of funding? And the acquisition they're talking about was the Microsoft acquisition. So Chris Roberts said, partly. Whenever something runs later, it needs more funding. Being part of Microsoft made that issue less of a problem. Because once you have one of the largest tech companies bankrolling you, you should be able to get your projects out. Now, of course, Microsoft ended up acquiring Digital Anvil, and this press release from December 5th, 2000 pretty much kind of talks about it. And of course, towards the tail end of it, Chris Roberts ended up getting out of this whole situation. In fact, one of the fan sites for Wing Commander, one of Chris Roberts' games, in their CIC, they kind of talk about the situation, and towards the tail end, they talk about Microsoft has taken over Digital Anvil, and this is going to be the best thing that could happen. More money for Freelancer, and so on and so forth. Excuse me while I discard the tattered remains of my faith. We were duped. We wanted to believe, and we were duped. Of course, if you go down, this is when it gets really cult-like, okay? Specifically, I wonder why the fans of Freelancer are taking this so well. What exactly are you people fans of? The game does not exist! Oh yeah, I know a game that doesn't exist. The reason I can see to declare it the greatest game in the history of mankind is the fact that Chris Roberts is helming it! Without him, what are you fans of? EA fired Richard Garriott, and no one seemed to care. Now Microsoft has fired Chris Roberts, and one slick press release later, everything's just fine again? Don't let it end this way. Thanks to Microsoft's press department, we now know that Chris Roberts is leaving due.
So Starfield's mods are not loading, at all. And I don't think I'll ever play this again, which is insane. If they can't get it right after 2 years, then why bother? Straight up, why bother? Why bother making this if you can't even get this right? You're stupid. Look at this stupid shit. Your mods are fucking stupid. I'm not going to restore every single time I play. That's not going to happen. I'll give you one more chance. If you do it again, I'm just going to uninstall. No, you have done it 11 times. I know not to do this. I'm stupid. You've done it 11 times. Just stop this game now. Just quit. Yeah. Well, we tried. Starfield, yeah, Starfield is dead. It is just dead on arrival. I'm sorry. I like the game, but yeah, if you can't even get the mods to load, what fucking good is it, really? What good is it? Maybe I should trim, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know which ones are bad. You need to tell me, otherwise it's worthless. So, bye. Yep. Well, it was fun. But yeah, the space games, none of them are good enough, I don't think, except EVE Online. EVE Online is the only one that well, maybe Elite Dangerous, I guess. Elite Dangerous might be pretty good. But you can't AFK that game. You have to actually fucking do the flight stick, and that's the problem with it. I like flight sticking when I'm doing something challenging, but all the time is not good. It's a space game. I want to fly through space and look at the stars, you know? I don't know. Maybe I should give Starfield another try and take a look at the mods and just trim. I'll give it another chance here. It's probably my fault. Man, this takes forever, but it's worth it. Um, 11:35. This is later than I wanted to go. I'm going to stop now, guys. I'm terribly sorry. I thought I would go back in, but I'm tired. It has been too much. It's been 16-hour days for 3 days in a row, and I'm just going to stop. So, thank you for watching Skycat Live. You've been watching Skycat Live. Got a lot of views today. Got a lot of views. Got a lot of love. Thank you so much. It was good to see, 10 people in here. Thank you so much. You've been watching Skycat Live. My website is skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast face to donate. No, I want you to shut off. I'm not doing this tonight. No. We'll come back to it tomorrow. It isn't going anywhere. I will be back tomorrow for more Rust, EVE, FFXI, and probably Starfield. I think. I don't know if I can get it to run, but I don't think so. I spent tonight trying to get it to run, and it didn't. So I don't know. We'll see if something's different. Maybe I can trim and get rid of the bad stuff, I guess. But anyways, I will let you go here. You've been watching Skycat Live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast face to donate and come to the Twitch or the YouTube and give me a like, sub, or follow. I have recorded this 16-hour session and it will be placed on my channel, which is this and I'm sorry, here. And as you can see, I have thousands of videos on my channel, 2,000 videos, and it'll keep growing. And if you like what you saw here, you can see it again tomorrow. Now, see, Star Citizen is not popular. I can see it's just not. Star Citizen did not pull views. It's kind of insane. Not like Rust, which is kind of funny. So, anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will stop the video here. Recording is going to end.